In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Ecamm for an overhead piano shot, and then add another keyboard, which will be a MIDI keyboard, which shows the notes I'm playing above that. So, just to clarify, we're going to have an iPhone as a camera. That's going to be at the bottom of the screen, so that will be showing my hands on the keyboard. And then we're going to have the MIDI keyboard above it, and for that we're going to use Chords app, which is a fantastic bit of software for teaching, and we're going to bring that in through a system called NDI. So NDI brings in any window on your computer that you want, any separate window, as a camera overlay in Ecamm. So it looks like this. At the bottom we have the real keyboard. And at the top you can see that the MIDI keyboard is taking the notes that I play and showing the chord, which is fantastic. So what we're going to do now is to just build that up piece by piece so you can see how it all fits together. So let's start again. Blank screen in Ecamm. Let's look at Chords. So these are all separate windows you have access to in the application. You can see there's a piano roll, there's manuscript view for the real music aficionados that want to show the actual manuscript, and you have a fretboard as well if you're teaching guitar. So I'm only interested in the piano roll here. So Chords is just available as separate windows. So as I mentioned, I have to go into NDI and choose that particular window. So if I launch NDI, if you look at the top left, if I go to File, Chords app, you can see that there's various windows, and I can tell that looking at the dimensions, the piano roll is the one I want, which is number 2. So that should be all fine. So if I now go back to Ecamm, go to Overlays, New Camera Overlay, and there's the scan converter there, the NDI, and there we have it. So I can move this around anywhere I like. It's obviously not the right size, so I need to go into the Edit button, change the aspect to Custom, and then what I tend to do is use the bottom left handle and then just make it quite small, and then just go left. It takes a bit of playing around to get it right. You can obviously tweak it as you prefer. So it's now gone over my camera, so I can change in the overlays, I can change the change the order of those overlays. Whoops. There we go. And let's bring in the real camera. So the iPhone, overlays, new camera overlay, iPhone. Now, again, this needs some work. So change the aspect to Custom. And you can see there's some carpet there at the bottom. I do actually want that so I can see my hands, so people can see how I'm playing it. Again, I want the Chords app to be above that, so I need to change the order. So that needs to be above there. Okay. And then I can move it around and then just change the look and feel of it. So it's really up to you how you want this. and there's a lot of flexibility, but it does take a bit of practice. I think now the chord is a bit too small, so it's quite good to have some sort of line like that red line there from the Nord keyboard, just to see. Now I've lost the carpet, so it's a bit of a sort of playing around, bit of experimentation, gone too far. And you do find that the iPhone, if it's not completely level, the keyboard will look very strange. Let's bring that carpet back. So you can see it's quite tricky to get it absolutely right. Let's make So let's leave it like that for the moment, and I'll just play a chord. And you can see that's not right, the octave's wrong. So it should actually be there. Let's just double check. So that's the sort of playing around you need to do, but that looks pretty good to somebody who wants to learn and see what notes you're playing, and also see your hand as well. You can change the in the scan converter, you can choose the actual chordy window that you want. So for example, if I wanted manuscript view, I can go back to NDI, top left, file, chordy app. Let's try a different window. No, don't want the fretboard. So there you go, there's the manuscript view, needs playing around with. So I could put this on the screen like that. And it is possible actually to have two different NDI windows. I've been playing around with that. There is a hack where you can actually launch an NDI scan converter twice, or I think maybe more than that. And I'm sure some people on the group will have some other ideas, but obviously I think from my experience, you don't want too much on the screen if you're teaching. So it's really up to you as to what you want. One thing that's worth saying is if you do get any kind of area on the screen that you want to play around with and maybe block out, you can actually use a text overlay. I found out the other day. So you can just put, let's say, 3 dots, make sure it's black and it's got a black background. And you can add a block like that, stretch it out. So although it's designed for text, you can play around with it a little bit. And you know, I was thinking of the bit up the top actually here. There's no, at the moment in Ecamm, you can't change the aspect of that because it's designed for text. But yes, you can. Yes, there you go. So you can make it bigger, and it may be useful for certain things. Just a thought. Okay, so I hope that's been useful. Obviously you can do other things as well. You can be creative and use some of the other cutout kind of overlays that are available. So you can, you know, have a frame on your screen And at the bottom there, that's actually set up for a camera, so I could have my face down there. You can use some of these colourful kind of templates where you just have certain parts of the screen coming through, which is quite nice as well. But yes, as I say, takes a bit of playing around, but I hope that's been useful.